Okay, so here we are on our second module that's going to run us through the rest of the rocks that we need to know. So this module is going to be very similar, and the lab is going to be very similar in format to the previous one. So here we're going to learn about the remaining two types of categories of rocks. So we're going to look at sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rocks, which are our last two. And so because there's two groups here, there's two PowerPoints, here they are here, and there's the videos that are associated with that. Not going as in depth as we would in our other class in physical geology. So I gave you, like before, there's just it's just a little outline, but it's terminology that you should know and some things. So when you look through that, hopefully it'll help you focus on what you need to know. And so, if it introduces a couple terms, make sure you know what those terms are. If it says you should know how to identify rocks, sedimentary rocks, and how do you do that, you should know that before you take the quiz. But hopefully this is helpful to get you through this content here. And then just like last module, we don't want to spend, and there's not enough time to cover everything. So we're going to focus here in this disasters class on a rock called a limestone, which is sedimentary rock, and that's what you're going to do in your article. But there are two articles here because, I want to show you the association between sedimentary rocks in this case and a hazard that we will talk about in the future, which are sinkholes. And so you'll learn a little bit about what limestone is and how it forms, and then also its relationship to sinkholes. So you want to look through both of these before you take the article quiz here. And then you can hopefully learn a little bit about a hazard that we're going to discuss, like I said, in the future. For the video, it's just going to be an overview of sedimentary rocks. So it's a supplement to the stuff that we looked at in the main lecture, but only sedimentary rocks. Because I would argue they're probably more important in our disasters class than metamorphic. So we'll focus on those. And just like last time, there's no time limit on this video quiz. So we took that off. I think that's going to be the norm from now on. So, that way you don't have to try to memorize things that, run maybe 20 minutes or sometimes longer. So you can take your time as you go through the video, hopefully understand it a little better and answer the questions in the quiz for the video. And for the homework, I'm just going to have you, let's see if we can make this work here. So you're just going to fill out this chart. And so here's some metamorphic rock names. You'll learn these terms as you go through the content, but we want to be able to know something about the texture of these metamorphic rocks, what they were before they were altered, and some of the types of metamorphism they were exposed to. These are the two main types. And so this information is in the lecture material. It's also, remember, in the additional resources page that's in the module. There are pages that, to an online book that give you some of this information. And you can Google it or however you want to obtain this information. And then there's a few other things just emphasizing some of the important parts of, metamorphism and things like that. So, and then some more texture stuff. So that's what you'll do for the homework assignment. And then the lab, like I said, is going to be very similar to the previous ones because, of course, we're looking at two different rock types here, or rock groups. So just a little review about, how do we identify sedimentary rocks and the chart that you'll use in the lab, just like you had a chart for the igneous rock. So here it is here. And then, of course, there's a little video that talks about how you kind of use that chart and how we use this information to identify both sedimentary and metamorphic rocks. Hopefully this is helpful. And there's the metamorphic chart. And then, of course, you'll go ahead and take the lab. And, of course, there's another tutorial there that really walks you through, what you're going to do in here. So hopefully all this kind of additional supplemental material videos is useful for you getting through, but the format is going to be very similar to what you did last week, where you'll have images of some of the rock types and you'll try to identify them based on color and texture as best you can with some images, and that'll be your lab. So I think that's pretty much it. So because it's similar to last week, there's not a whole lot new. But once again, if you run into any issues as you're going through the content, or you're having some issues completing some of the assignments, make sure you reach out to me and let me know what's going on so I can help you out. Otherwise, have fun.